What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC 323. We have Merab Dvalishvili going against Petr Yan 2. And yeah, looking forward to this card, man. It's the last pay-per-view card of the year, last pay-per-view card for a very long time. And it's a good one. It's a really good card. It's stacked from top to bottom. I'm looking forward to a ton of these prelims. I've got a ton of action on the card. I'm getting this video out nice and early because I'm heading out to Vegas. Flight takes off Friday afternoon. And it's going to be a fun time. So before we get into it, if you guys can do me a huge favor, like the video. One small like goes a long way. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Trying to reach 30K by the end of the year. And maybe even by the time this card starts. About 50 subscribers away from 30K. So if you guys do enjoy the content, be sure to subscribe. It'd help out a ton. And then also leave me a comment. The comments, they help out the algorithm and they are much appreciated. And since this is the last pay-per-view card, maybe ever, but the last pay-per-view card for a very long time, and it's the last big card of the year. We're going to do one last contest to end the year. Last pay-per-view card for UFC 322. We did the same contest, and the winner picked Bo Nickel to win by knockout in round 3. I think it was like plus 1,400. So I'm going to do that same contest. The contest is the biggest plus money prop contest. To enter the contest, of course, like, subscribe, and then comment down your biggest plus money prop. Say, for example, your biggest plus money prop is, I don't know, Manuel Torres by first round knockout. Just put the prop and be sure to put the odds. Please, for the love of God, put the odds so I don't have to do it myself. $25 to first. If there's a tie, the tiebreaker goes to the person that commented first, and you'll get a nice shout out on the next betting breakdown video next week for the UFC Vegas card. So comment down those big plus money props. Let's see if you guys can get a couple here. All right. With all that out of the way, I say we get into it. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of action on this card, and we're going to kick it off with the first fight of the card, and it is going to be Marion Santos going against Mohamed Naimov. And yeah, staying away from this one. I think Santos, rightful favorite. I think this guy has more upside. The younger guy, I think he's going to be making improvements. Training with the fighting nerds now. I kind of think Santos gets it done, but minus 250, it's a little bit too steep for my liking, and not really any props sticking out. So yeah, going to be sitting back and watching the first fight of the card. Not much sticking out there. Next, we got Barninski going against Aslan. And I got in on a couple of plays early this week, some early totals, and this was the first one. I have 2 units on the under 1.5 rounds at minus 129, and that got smashed all the way to like minus 200. But now money's coming back in on the over, and you can now get them under 1.5 at like minus 170, minus 175, and I like it. I like the under 1.5 rounds here. Barninski has not seen a second round yet in his professional career, and I think this is going to be fireworks. Aslan went out there in his last fight, completely crapped the bed, went out there for 15 minutes and did nothing. I expect to see a more aggressive Aslan, and when he's winning fights, he's winning them by knockout. You can take a look at it right here. Both guys have a 100% finish rate. Aslan, all of his wins come by knockout, whereas Barninski, he can win by both knockout. We saw that on the Contender Series. He can win by ground and pound with a TKO, and then he can also win by submission. So I think the under 1.5 is the best way to play this. I'd caution anybody laying minus 200 on somebody making his debut, but I do lean Barninski's way. I just like the under a lot more than his money line. So give me the under 1.5 rounds there, 2 units on that to kick off my action. Next up, we have Jalen Turner going against Edson Barboza. And this is a card where I have a lot of action, but there's a couple of spots on this card where I just wanted to attack, very heavily. This is one of the spots I feel pretty good about. I feel good about a couple spots, very strongly about a couple spots on this card, and this is one of them. I really like Jalen Turner this week. I really like Jalen Turner to finish. There are some red flags, with the whole retirement and his mentality, but, outside of that, he's the younger fighter. He looks to be in phenomenal shape. He looks to be ready to go. And if he's motivated, even like 50% motivated, I think he not only beats Edson Barboza here, I think he, destroys him, quite frankly, as he should. Jalen Turner, a 100% finish rate. Barboza's been finished 6 times, but he's getting hurt. He's getting hurt in a lot of these fights. We saw Jakar Close hurt him very bad. Lerone Murphy hurt him very bad multiple times. Sodiq Yusuff hurt him very bad multiple times. This guy's been hurt like 50 times the last 3 fights. And Jalen Turner, I truly believe that he's one of the hardest hitters in the division. This guy has the death touch. He's 6'3" at lightweight. So yeah, I like Jalen Turner. I like Jalen Turner quite a bit. Outside of the mentality, I really like Jalen Turner this week. So I have 2 plays here. I locked in the under 1.5 rounds nice and early at plus 161 for 1.25 units. That line's obviously moved a lot. I still don't mind it at a pick'em. I think that covers Jalen Turner's win equity and also maybe an Edson Barboza early finish. So I like the under 1.5 quite a bit, even where it's at about a pick'em. So I have 1.25 units on that, and then I have 1.75 units on Jalen Turner to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2 at minus 115. Again, I like that quite a bit. I like it better than the money line. When Jalen Turner's winning fights, he's winning them inside the distance, and he's winning them within the first 10 minutes. I don't think he has a win that has went into the 3rd round yet. So, yeah, Jalen Turner 1-2, under 1.5. I'm looking for Jalen Turner to get an early finish. I don't mind Jalen Turner round 1 and stuff along the lines like that. So, yeah, Jalen Turner, hopefully he gets it done here and comes back with vengeance after retiring. Next, we got Marvin Vettori going against Bruno Ferreira. Really weird fight here. Like, this is a really weird fight. It's a fight where I could see it play out a bunch of different ways. I could see Marvin Vettori win by decision. I could see, Bruno Ferreira potentially win by decision. I could see maybe Bruno Ferreira be the first person to knock out Marvin Vettori. But I think it's Marvin Vettori or pass here. It's just hard to get to Marvin Vettori after he's looked like complete crap his last 3 fights. But this is a really big step down in competition. But the way I'm playing this is I'm taking some big plus money shots here. Going kind of small to potentially win big. And, I think the fight ends by submission at plus 400. I think that's, very intriguing. I have a half unit on that. And then also have a quarter unit on Marvin Vettori to win by submission in rounds 2 or rounds 3 at plus 1,200. So the reason being is I listened to an interview with Marvin Vettori. And, funny enough, I did my prediction video nice and early. I researched these fights nice and early with the week off. And my prediction was actually a Marvin Vettori submission round 3. And I was listening to a Marvin Vettori interview this week, and I forget who was doing the interview. I wish I could credit the guy, and I don't want to credit the wrong dude, but he did a great job, and he basically asked Marvin Vettori, what the game plan was, and, what's his prediction for the fight, and, Marvin Vettori basically said he's going to put on his wrestling shoes here. He needs a win, and I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to come out here with his wrestling shoes. I don't think he's going to stand and bang with a hard hitter like Bruno Ferreira. And I think we can see a fight similar to like the Kevin Holland fight that took place a couple years ago where he went out there and used that grappling. And I just can't get the fact that Bruno Ferreira got out-cardioed by Abus Magomedov and drowned and submitted late out of my head. I mean, I just couldn't believe my eyes. He made Abus Magomedov look like Fluffy Hernandez out there in terms of the cardio. It's like, it was wild. I mean, Reinier de Ridder has the worst cardio in the division. Second worst has to be like Bruno Ferreira. I mean, third worst is Abus Magomedov, and Abus Magomedov showed better cardio than Bruno Ferreira. It's crazy. So I feel like Vettori is going to wrestle here. He's going to grapple here. Vettori, he is a decisionator, but he does have 3 finishes in the UFC. All 3 of those come by submission. I think of Vettori late submissions and play. And I don't think Ferreira's knocking out Vettori, so maybe Ferreira could get maybe like a club and sub. Ferreira has won his last 2 fights by submission, so I think the fight ends by sub is sneaky, along with the Marvin Vettori sub 2-3. Small stakes, but I mean the odds are very big there. Next up, we got Chris Duncan going against Terrence McKinney. This is my biggest bet on the card. I have the under 1.5 rounds, 4.5 units, minus 225. That line has gotten crushed. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect that under 1.5 to get crushed because every time Terrence McKinney fights, there's a lot of people making cases for the over, making cases for Terrence McKinney to win by decision. And I haven't heard those same takes this week. I've heard one Terrence McKinney decision take, but usually I hear a lot more. And typically, the Terrence McKinney under 1.5, they close around minus 225, minus 250. But now it's like minus 400 on some books for this under 1.5. So it kind of scares me a little bit, but at the end of the day, this is a Terrence McKinney fight. This guy has won under 1.5 rounds in all of his fights. I think it's going to be a car crash of the highest degree, and I think somebody's getting served within the first 7.5 minutes. I talked about it all week. When McKinney's winning fights, he's not only winning them in the first round, he's winning them in the first half of a round. He has not won a fight in the UFC that has went past 0.5 rounds, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Chris Duncan, he doesn't even need to survive the first 5 minutes. He needs to survive the first 2.5 minutes. I think McKinney's live for a knockout early, a submission early, but he has about 2.5 minutes to do it. And if he doesn't get that early finish, Duncan's going to finish him late round 1, early round 2, under 1.5. I like it. Played it big, but the line has moved quite a bit, which, like I said, I wasn't really expecting it to move that much because people like Terrence McKinney overs for some reason. All right, next we have Grant Dawson going against Manuel Torres. And yeah, another strong take here. I like Grant Dawson quite a bit. The more I thought about this matchup, the more it's like, kind of like the McKinney fight. Like when Manuel Torres is winning, he's winning the fights not only in the first round, in the first 2.5 minutes. He has 17 wins. 15 of those 17 wins come in the first 2.5 minutes. So I think if Torres is winning this fight, he's going to catch Dawson early on. And I listened to some Dawson interviews this week, and the game plan is basically go out there and take 0 risks, get the fight down to the ground early and often. He talked about the Bobby Green fight and how the game plan was to strike with Bobby Green for a little bit, right? And he got caught doing that. So I think he learned from that. And my prediction is I truly think Dawson's going to shoot a takedown within the first 10 seconds of the fight. And I think that'd be wise to do so. Can't we all agree on that? I mean, if he doesn't, there is a chance he gets knocked out. So how I played it, and I think there's a lot of ways you can play this fight. I like Dawson inside the distance quite a bit. I've seen people do the Dawson and the over 0.5 rounds, same game parlay, just 2.5 minutes, and then I think it's like minus 130. But the way I played it was I took the alternate point spread on Grant Dawson, the minus 7.5 point spread, and I have 3.5 units on that. And the reason being is I think he finishes Torres. I think he finishes Torres late round 1, if not round 1, then round 2, if not round 2, then round 3. But that minus 7.5, it also covers a 30-27. It also covers a dominant decision, which it could happen. It can certainly happen. So I like that minus 7.5 point spread, 3.5 units on that. My second biggest bet of the card. But I did hedge. I'm not an idiot. I did hedge with Manuel Torres to win and under a half a round at plus 850. For a half a unit. So, I think if Torres is winning this fight, it's under a half a round, and that's plus 850. That line kind of is silly to me. I truly think that's like his money line. So, yeah, Grant Dawson minus 7.5. A little hedge with the Manuel Torres under a half a round is how I'm playing this fight. 4 units in total. And as long as, Dawson, as long as Torres doesn't win the fight outside of the first 2.5 minutes, that should come through. So, yeah, I like Dawson quite a bit. Outside of an early shot from Torres, I think Dawson rolls and rolls pretty easily. So we'll see. Next, we got Ziam going against Ziam Sadykhov, passing on this fight. Just not much sticking out. I was thinking maybe the Sadykhov finish only. They're all over it. It's minus 200 or worse. The Ziam decision only. They're all over it. It's like minus 250 or worse. It's I could see a Ziam decision. I could see a Sadykhov, maybe a damage-based decision. I could see maybe a Sadykhov finish. Just not much sticking out in this fight. Next, we got Mansur Abdul-Malik going against Antonio Trocoli. And this is a very interesting fight here. And I do have a bet on this fight. But the under 1.5 rounds is minus 200, which is funny to me because Mansur Abdul-Malik has been cashing these overs like crazy. We're talking like sweat-free in some of these fights. So I thought a lot more people would be on the over 1.5. I thought the under 1.5 would be at a much playable price, but it's not. And I mean, obviously he should destroy Trocoli in the first 5 minutes of the fight. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, Trocoli's not a real fighter. He's a poker player, and Mansur Abdul-Malik can finish him whenever he wants. It's just when does Mansur Abdul-Malik finish this poker player, right? And I just find it funny that this under is just getting completely smashed, and it kind of makes me believe that the game plan for Mansur Abdul-Malik is to not mess around and go out there and spark this guy. Fights are no longer fixed for the time being. Man, we all know Mansur Abdul-Malik was cashing these over 1.5s, and we're gonna find out. We're about to find out if he's still cashing these overs, because there's no reason to take Antonio Trocoli into the second round, into the third round. You're so much better. I mean, Trocoli offers 0 threat on the feet. He offers 0 threat in the wrestling. Just come forward and touch this guy, and he's gonna topple over. So, yeah, I think Mansur Abdul-Malik gets it done. I think he gets it done in round 1. I talked about this on I did a strong confidence picks video. Gave a little bit of a tease And I talked about how I was going to do the same game parlay for Abdul-Malik, and I was hoping to get it around minus 150. It came out to minus 130, actually. So the same game parlay is Mansour Abdul-Malik money line, parlayed with the under 1.5, and the knockout. So Mansour Abdul-Malik needs a knockout in under 7.5 minutes. That came out to minus 130. I like it. And 2.5 units on that. And yeah, we're watching you, Abdul-Malik. We're watching you. You take this guy over 7.5 minutes. There's gonna be a warrant out for your arrest, buddy. We have our eyes on you, buddy. So we'll see. Macy, Barber, Karina, Silva, not touching this fight. I've got all my action in already. If Macy Barber looks like crap at the weigh-ins, maybe I'll take a shot on some sort of under or some sort of Silva finish prop. I kind of want to see Barber at the weigh-in. So unless she looks like completely awful, I probably won't be touching this fight. But yeah, Silva finish only is something I looked at potentially. The under is something I looked at potentially. But yeah, don't have anything on this fight as of now, and I don't think I will. Taira going against Brandon Moreno. Yeah, don't love this fight either from a betting perspective. And yeah, the odds on this one are wrong. It's pretty much a pick'em. I don't know what my graphics guys do. So my graphic guy kind of messed up here, but I'm not restarting the video to fix it. Yeah, Taira's the pick. I think you can make strong cases for Moreno. I think Taira just does a little bit better in the grappling, controls Moreno on the ground. He takes his back. But yeah, it's a close fight. Moreno does have good scrambling ability. Moreno is going to be the slightly better striker. But yeah, lean Taira there ever so slightly, not laying chalk on him though. Next we got Jan Blachowicz going against Bogdan Guskov. And we got Jan Blachowicz sitting at minus 130, Guskov plus 110. And yeah, I like Blachowicz here. I like Blachowicz here in this one. It's hard to be extremely confident in Blachowicz because he's like 42 years old. But, you know, this is a big step up in competition for Guskov. This will be Guskov's best win by a mile. And Blachowicz, this is honestly, it's an astronomical step down in competition from guys like Carlos Ulberg, guys like Israel Adesanya, guys like Magomed Ankalaev, guys like Alex Ferreira. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, Blachowicz has been fighting the best of the best, the last several years of his career, and now he's taking on Bogdan Guskov. If Guskov wins this fight, I'll be very impressed. I'll be very, very impressed because that would mean he'd be a top 5 light heavyweight, which I would have never thought in a million years. But yeah, if he wins this fight, he'll probably take the number 5 ranking at light heavyweight. So yeah, I guess he can knock out Blachowicz, but I think Blachowicz, I give him every advantage in the book outside of age, to be honest. Maybe Guskov hits harder, but Blachowicz has a lot of power in his own right. I like Blachowicz inside the distance here. It's plus 250. I have a unit on it, and then I have a quarter unit on Blachowicz to win by submission at plus 850. I think Blachowicz can take this guy down. We saw Billy Alicana take this guy down. We saw Volkan Oezdemir take this guy down and sub him. We saw Ryan Spann take this guy down. I mean, I think Guskov can be had on the mat, and I think Blachowicz, I hope Blachowicz, knows that. And if he grapples here, I think there's going to be a big levels difference on the ground. I think that subs him, pretty live. But yeah, I could see Blachowicz winning by any method, knockout, decision, submission. Guskov's been lost. He's lost by decision, knockout, and submission before. So yeah, Blachowicz here. I don't mind the money line, but I took the inside the distance at plus 250. I could see him knocking him out. I can see him subbing him, stuff like that. Next, we got Peyton Talbott going against Henry Cejudo. Yeah, I took Talbott. I took Talbott in the over 1.5 round same game parlay that came out to minus 143 for 1.5 units. And then I have a half unit on Talbot to win by knockout in rounds 2 or rounds 3 at plus 650. And yeah, Henry Cejudo, this is confirmed to be his retirement fight. And I mean, Talbot's going to be so much bigger than this guy. I don't think Cejudo's going to be able to take down and hold down Talbot. I think he can take him down. But I don't think he's going to hold, Talbot. We just haven't seen Cejudo wrestle in a very long time. We haven't seen him take somebody down and control somebody and beat him since like 2017. And it's not like what I'm hearing from Cejudo. It just doesn't really seem, that motivated these days. And, once these guys you have one foot out the door, it doesn't always seem to, work out well. So I think Talbot wins this fight. I think it's like a round 3, maybe a decision type thing. I think these late props are extremely live, especially if Henry does have one foot out of the door like I do expect, and we could see Talbot potentially put it on him down the stretch. So yeah, taking Talbot over 1.5 same game parlay for 1.5 units, and then a half unit on the KO round 2, KO round 3. combo. All right, and then we got the co-main event, Alexander Pantoja going against Joshua Van. I took a 1-unit shot. 1-unit shot on Alexander Pantoja by submission at plus 190. It should have been a bigger bet. And you can still get that at plus 160. I think that's how he wins. I think that's how Pantoja wins. If he's winning this fight, if he's looking minus 225, I think he's subbing Van. So I like the Pantoja sub prop. That's what I'm picking. I think he's going to take down Van and sub him. I also do like the fight doesn't go the distance. I have 1.5 units on that at minus 140. You can still get that at minus 145, and I like that as well. You know, I think, like I said, Pantoja, if he's winning, I kind of see him submitting Joshua Van in the first 3 rounds. And if he's not able to submit Joshua Van, we can see Joshua Van take over, put it on Pantoja and potentially be the first one to knock him out if Pantoja does slow down as the fight goes on. So, yeah, fight doesn't go. I like Pantoja's submission. I like as well. And then the main event, Murad Dvalishvili, Petr Yan, nothing here. I thought about maybe, a Yan point spread. Not going to get there. Just Murad 50-45 in the first fight. I think Murab's going to win. I'm very confident Murad wins. Was hoping maybe more money would come in on Yan throughout the week. That hasn't really happened. So yeah, Murad by decision. The decision prop's minus 300. It's just, I don't want to get there. So yeah, Murab's the pick, but nothing sticking out from a betting perspective. And that's about it. Quick rapid fire pick before we get out of here. Rapid fire recap. Ivo Barninski, Ivo Aslan under 1.5. Jalen Turner rounds 1 or rounds 2 under 1.5. Marvin Vettori. I do like the money line. I probably should be on the Marvin Vettori money line, but I like Marvin Vettori sub round 1 or sub round 2, sub round 3, and then the fight ends by sub. I think those are some cheeky, big, massive plus money props. Biggest bet on the card is Duncan McKinney under 1.5 rounds. I like the Dawson inside the distance, minus 7.5 point spread, and even minus 5.5 point spread on the Dawson side. And then I also like Manuel Torres to win under a half a round as like a hedge, or if you're on the Torres side, that's a great look. Nothing in the Ziam fight, nothing in the Barber fight. Mansur Abdul-Malik to win KO1, Mansur Abdul-Malik to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2 by knockout, Mansur Abdul-Malik to win under 1.5 rounds and by knockout, stuff like that. Nothing in the Taira fight. Blachowicz, I do like the money line. I like Blachowicz inside the distance. Blachowicz by submission, sprinkle. Peyton Talbott, I don't mind the money line as a parlay piece. Peyton Talbott in the over 1.5 same game parlay, probably my favorite look there. And then Peyton Talbott KO in rounds 2 or rounds 3. Pantoja sub I like. Pantoja Van fight doesn't go to decision I like. And then the main event, don't have anything on it, but I thought maybe about the Van point spread, but didn't get there. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys could do me a favor on your way out, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get 30K subs. Let's get 30K. That'd be freaking awesome. And then don't forget to comment down your biggest plus money props. I'll shout out the winner next week. And yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC 323. We'll talk to you soon. See you later.